Kanye West just casually popped up at Diddy's trial. And yeah, absolutely no one was ready for that. Now Gene Deal, who used to be Diddy's bodyguard, is spilling some seriously surprising tea. According to him, Kanye didn't show up just to watch the drama unfold. There's a much bigger reason. And let's just say it's not looking cute. We're talking secret links, eyebrow-raising claims, and a whole lot of mystery. What's really going on here? If you think this is just celeb gossip as usual, hang tight, because it might be way deeper than it looks. A complicated history. You'd think a 20-year friendship between two music titans would mellow with age, but the Kanye West-Sean Diddy Combs saga just keeps dishing fresh plot twists. The latest? Ye popped up at Diddy's high-stakes trafficking trial, decked head to toe in bright white, as if auditioning for a heavenly cameo. Reporters at Manhattan Federal Court asked if he was there for his pal, and he simply nodded. Yes. Then, true to Kanye style, he was whisked off to an overflow room, watched the live stream for about 40 minutes, and slid out to a waiting black Mercedes before most people realized he'd been inside. Word drifted upstairs, and courtroom onlookers swore Diddy's mood lifted the moment he heard Ye had swung by. Timing is everything, and Ye chose his moment carefully. Just the day before, a witness known only as Jane told jurors she jetted to Las Vegas in January 2023 with a famous rapper and his partner during a pause in her romance with Combs. Jane wouldn't name names, but she called the mystery man an icon in the music industry and confirmed he and Diddy are tight. Her stories about club stops, hotel suite dancing, and explicit party antics set social media sleuths buzzing. That unnamed rapper sure sounded like Kanye. Cue the quick wardrobe change and Ye's courthouse cameo. Some observers saw it as loyalty, others smelled clever optics. Of course, loyalty between these two has never been straightforward. Rewind to 2022, when Ye turned Paris Fashion Week upside down with his White Lives Matter tee. Diddy posted a video urging calm. "I've always been there, and I will always support my brother Kanye as a freethinker. But the White Lives Matter t-shirt, I don't rock with it, you know what I'm saying?" A Diddy, Instagram. Yeah, never one to let critique slide. Fired off screenshot after screenshot of their private texts. "I didn't like our convo, I'm selling these tees," he wrote, adding, "Nobody gets in between me and my money." In another slide, he warned, "I told you this was war, and promised to publish any future messages." A Kanye West, Instagram. Diddy, sounding exasperated, responded, "Stop. This is hurting our people." Ye countered, "I love you, and you guys are breaking my heart." Despite the sparring, Ye has credited Diddy with shaping major life moves. Yes, even the decision to marry Kim Kardashian. So the bond clearly runs deep. That history likely explains why, when Diddy faced federal charges threatening his legacy, Kanye still showed up, even if it meant settling for a folding chair in a basement overflow room. Their friendship might be frayed, patched, and pepper-sprayed with public arguments, but when the spotlight shifts to real-world stakes, Ye apparently still chooses Team Diddy. White suit, silent nod, and all. Why was Kanye at Diddy's trial? Just when you think the spotlight might shift elsewhere for a moment, he struts back into the frame. Literally, decked out in head-to-toe white denim and giant shades, stealing the scene outside a Manhattan courthouse like he was walking into a fashion show instead of a federal trial. Yep, Kanye West made a surprise appearance at Sean Diddy Combs' trafficking trial. And let's just say the drama instantly doubled. Ye's visit wasn't exactly long. He breezed in, caused a frenzy, and then dipped out after being escorted to an overflow room to watch the trial via livestream, because the courtroom was already full of lawyers, agents, and family. But that didn't stop the internet from absolutely spiraling. The crowd wanted answers, but when someone asked Kanye why he was there, he gave the world just one word: yes. If that left you scratching your head, you weren't alone. Was this a show of support? A PR move? A Kanye-style distraction? Maybe all of the above. Social media couldn't decide either. As one person posted, having Kanye's support might not be beneficial. It could negatively impact public opinion, despite the jury's possible perception. Which is a polite way of saying, this may not be helping, bro. But here's the twist. Kanye has already been vocal about his support for Diddy long before this courthouse cameo. Back on February 6th, he hit X with a rapid-fire string of posts. "Free Puff," he wrote, using Diddy's throwback nickname, followed by, "Puff, we love you." And then things got spicy. "Just for clarity," Kanye added, "they trying to make an example out of Puff." He didn't stop there either, accusing white people of trying to scare black men through Combs' case and urging followers to find out exactly who they are. Subtle? Not in the slightest. And Kanye wasn't just defending Diddy during that outburst. He was also firing back at critics of his wife Bianca Censori's barely there Grammys look. "People say the red carpet look was her decision," Ye posted. "Yes, I don't make her do nothing she doesn't want to, but she definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without my approval. You woke pawns." He also threw in that he had dominion over Bianca and bashed her critics as broke, which didn't exactly win him any points with, well, anyone. The timing of it all didn't go unnoticed either. Ye's string of eyebrow-raising social media posts came just after facing backlash for past anti-Semitic comments, which had already gotten him booted from Instagram. When he claimed, "Elon, they kicked me off Instagram, so glad you bought X," Community Notes was quick to flag it for being factually incorrect. So, yeah, Ye hasn't exactly been on a winning streak in the public eye. That's why his appearance at Diddy's trial raised even more eyebrows. Combs is currently facing a laundry list of very serious accusations: racketeering, forced labor, and trafficking, including allegations involving minors. Prosecutors allege he built a criminal network using his business empire, and court documents say this goes all the way back to 2008. One particularly chilling detail: at least one of the 120 reported accusers was only 9 years old at the time. Diddy, for his part, has pleaded not guilty to all charges. After being arrested in September, he was denied bail and placed under suicide watch at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. His lawyers have described the situation as a witch hunt, insisting that there has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. His legal team urged everyone to hold off on judgment until all the facts come out. But of course, the moment Kanye entered the building, everything shifted. Reporters literally started chasing leads through stairwells trying to find him. With one joking it felt like a Scooby-Doo chase in a federal building. Another noted that coverage quickly flipped from legal updates to Kanye Watch. It was classic turning someone else's court case into his own headline. Plenty of people weren't buying it though. Because let's face it, this isn't Ye's first time pulling focus in the middle of a serious moment. From the Taylor Swift VMAs saga to presidential campaign chaos, Ye has a well-documented habit of dropping into major events like a plot twist no one asked for. Whether it's driven by genuine loyalty, PR instinct, or just Ye being Ye, his involvement tends to suck up all the oxygen in the room. In this case, that might be exactly what happened. Instead of headlines focusing on the disturbing details of Diddy's case, attention swerved back to Kanye and his endless parade of wild statements. As one user on X dryly summed it up, outrage sells and Kanye's got the best merch table. Whether Ye helped or hurt Diddy's image remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, he made it all about him again. And for someone who's built an entire empire out of headline-grabbing moments, maybe that was the plan all along. Vegas night with Kanye, Bianca, and a commercial worker. A witness known only as Jane just wrapped a marathon stint on the stand in Sean Diddy Combs' federal case, and her Las Vegas tale has folks doing double takes at some very familiar names. According to Jane, back in January 2024, she got an invite from Kanye West and his wife to tag along on a Vegas getaway. Dinner? Check. Big show on the Strip? Check. A late-night stop at a grown-ups-only dance venue? Also check. But the real headline came once the group ended up in a hotel suite. Jane told the jury that a handful of well-heeled couples gathered for what she called a private live movie night. Translation: spectators watching one gentleman, famously fond of Combs's so-called freak-offs, get cozy with a professional date. Jane said she even suggested a male escort for Kanye and his wife earlier in the evening. She stressed that this wasn't an official freak-off, but the vibe sounded mighty similar to the invite-only gatherings Cassie Ventura described in her own testimony about hundreds of such evenings. When Jane tried to name her famous travel companion, the lawyers erupted. Objection, sustained, name never spoken. Still, she dropped enough breadcrumbs. A married rapper. An icon in the music industry. Cue the internet. Sure enough, less than 24 hours after Jane's Vegas story hit the courtroom, Kanye, now going by Yeah, popped up at Manhattan Federal Court wearing head-to-toe white. Security didn't wave him into the main courtroom. Seats are gold dust, so officials parked him in an overflow room. Reporters spotted him watching the feed beside Combs' son, Christian. After maybe 10 minutes, Ye stood, looked around, and glided out. Press swarmed him on the way to his black Mercedes. "Are you here to support Diddy?" someone shouted. Ye offered a single word, "Yes," then disappeared behind tinted glass. Inside court, Jane's testimony turned emotional. She said reading Cassie's 2023 lawsuit felt like reading my own story. That moment had jurors, lawyers, everyone checking body language. Outside, armchair legal experts wondered if what Jane described could land on the wrong side of federal trafficking rules, especially if any of the professionals involved lacked proper paperwork. One skeptical user posted, "If the feds want to make a case, they'll find a way." For now, Kanye faces no charges, and Diddy maintains everything was between consenting adults. Still, Jane's Vegas recollection and Ye's Blink and You Miss Him cameo have added fresh intrigue to an already headline-packed trial. And you know social media, screenshots, side-eyes, and hot takes are only just warming up. Unpacking the claims against Kanye. Kanye West has always known how to crash a headline, but even longtime Ye watchers did a double take when he waltzed into Sean Diddy Combs' New York trafficking trial in full winter white denim and moon-sized sunglasses. His cameo lasted maybe a dozen minutes, yet the whisper started the day before, when an anonymous witness called Jane took the stand and described a tense scene that seemed to point, without naming him, straight at Kanye. That setup gave Ye's brief drop-by the next morning the feel of a soap opera twist no writer could invent. Here's the gist. Jane told jurors she once attended one of Combs' hush-hush freak-off gatherings, a fancy code word for super-exclusive, adult-only parties where wealthy guests reportedly let their hair down in ways most folks only see on premium channel dramas. According to Jane, Combs grew furious when he learned she'd gone. She said an unnamed rap superstar was present that very night and hinted the star's image matched Kanye's. Court paperwork never printed Ye's name, but social media sleuths pounced on the description faster than you can refresh a feed. Jane wasn't done. She said that soon after the blow-up, she, Kanye, and his wife Bianca Censori flew to Las Vegas. The evening itinerary read like a reality show spin-off. Splashy dinners, big-ticket stage shows, and a late-night hotel suite filled with multiple couples. One regular freak-off guest, Jane claimed, entertained a professional companion while the others observed from the sidelines. Jane never accused Kanye of misbehavior, yet the story painted a picture that was, at best, awkward, and it landed on court record less than 24 hours before Ye's surprise courthouse stroll. Cut to June 13th. Kanye pulls up to the Daniel Patrick Moynihan courthouse, paparazzi lenses firing like strobe lights. A federal marshal later told reporters, he got treated no different than anybody else, noting that Ye dutifully removed his belt, emptied his pockets, and shuffled through the metal detector like the rest of us mere mortals. Still, the lobby buzzed as though someone had slipped stadium speakers into the ceiling. Once upstairs, Kanye discovered that the main courtroom was reserved for lawyers, families, and an ultra-short VIP list. He wasn't on it, so officials guided him to an overflow room. Picture Ye in the front row, Christian King, Combs 1 seat over, a monitor streaming live testimony, and 4 stone-faced court officers politely pretending this was normal. Roughly 10 minutes later, West rose, nodded to his bodyguards, and exited as quietly as a person in paparazzi crosshairs can. The only words he uttered publicly came when an ABC producer asked, "Are you here in support of Mr. Combs?" Kanye answered with a single syllable, "Yes." Of course, Kanye's backing for Puff predates the courthouse catwalk. Back on February 6th, he fired off a rapid series of posts. "Free Puff" and "Puff, we love you." He followed with a longer missive. "Just for clarity, they trying to make an example out of Puff, accusing unnamed powers of aiming to scare folks like Combs." The rants echoed his divisive 2022 Drink Champs interview where he branded Diddy the feds, a jab many in the music world considered a betrayal. Now, months later, here he was apparently patching things up. Sporting solidarity shirts, dropping a jail phone cameo from Diddy into a new track, and physically showing up at court. Jane's testimony muddied the waters further. By hinting at Kanye without outright naming him, she spurred endless online guessing games. Was Ye the rapper on the private jet? Did he attend more freak-offs than anyone knew? Because her story relied on inference, analysts say it's tough to gauge each figure's true role, and even tougher to predict how jurors will weigh that uncertainty. Meanwhile, the trial itself marched on with its own carousel of revelations. Prosecutors signaled they could rest soon after parading a lineup of summary witnesses. Paralegals unpacking documents, specialists decoding phone logs, and at least one individual described as a courier who allegedly moved suspicious items for Combs' circle. Still waiting in the wings, Brendan Paul, Combs' former assistant, rumored to know every behind-the-scenes detail about those headline-grabbing parties. Courtroom drama didn't stop with witness lists. Judge Aaron Subramanian dismissed juror number 6 for what he called lack of candor, hinting more seating chart shakeups might come. Defense lawyers hammered their witch hunt refrain, insisting Combs is innocent and vowing to fight every single day to clear his name. As for Kanye, sources told CNN he's been chatting with Christian Combs and might pop back in once the defense starts calling witnesses. The same insider insisted Ye and Christian are cooking up new music together. Apparently, courtroom visits double as brainstorming sessions in the hip-hop universe. What does the cameo really mean? Maybe it's sincere friendship. Maybe it's image rehab. Maybe it's classic Kanye theater, designed to yank the spotlight back his way. Whatever the motive, his 10-minute sit-in sparked more chatter than some entire trial days. As one post on X summed it up, only Ye could swing by a federal case, say yes, and walk out with the plot twist under his arm. For now, the jury is still hearing evidence. Jane's real name identity remains under wraps, and Kanye's potential return hangs in the air like a to-be-continued screen. But whether he testifies or merely delivers another blink-and-you-miss-it cameo, one thing is clear. Every time Kanye West steps into this courtroom saga, even for a coffee break, he turns an already dramatic legal showdown into a must-stream spectacle. A PR move or a misstep? Kanye West has never met a spotlight he didn't like, and his blink-and-you-missed-it cameo at Sean Diddy Combs' federal court showdown might be his most choreographed entrance yet. Picture it, Mr. West, strolling up to the Manhattan courthouse in head-to-toe snow-white denim with oversized shades, setting off instant pandemonium among the press pack. One photographer joked online that the scene turned into pure mayhem in 5 seconds flat. The real suspense, though, wasn't the outfit. It was the question every reporter yelled the moment he cracked a grin. Why is Kanye here? Turns out, he didn't stick around long enough to spill many beans. Inside, court staff hustled him straight to an overflow room with a closed-circuit feed because the main chamber was packed with lawyers, family, and federal agents hashing out the very serious accusations hanging over Combs. According to TMZ, Ye checked in on Combs' son, Christian. Quick handshake, paparazzi flash, and then huddled in that private viewing space for about 40 minutes. When a reporter asked if he was there to back his longtime buddy, Ye offered the world's shortest answer. Yes. No follow-up, no speech, no freestyle. Yet that tiny word did the trick. Almost immediately, journalists on social media observed that coverage had flipped. One blog admitted, press reports about the trial instantly shifted and instead zeroed in on West. News cycles love a shiny object, and Ye knows that rule better than anyone. By lunchtime, the rapper had slipped out another exit, leaving bewildered scribes wandering stairwells searching for him. One writer likened it to a Scooby-Doo chase in a federal building. Plenty of onlookers wondered if the pop-in was more chess move than friendship. A commenter on a Court Watch thread insisted, "I believe Kanye's appearance was merely a show designed to influence the jury. Having Kanye's support might not be beneficial. It could negatively impact public opinion, despite the jury's possible perception." Translation: Ye's brand of headline magnetism might be the last thing a defendant wants when facing claims of racketeering and trafficking, charges so weighty they make music industry drama feel like playground scuffles. Still, West's timing was impeccable for hijacking buzz. The trial had already witnessed intense testimony, from singer Cassie Ventura recounting troubling moments to rapper Kid Cudi adding his own observations. A federal agent even detailed seized items described in court as inappropriate. But once Ye strutted through those metal detectors, courtroom whispers shifted from evidence tables to his sunglasses. It's the classic Kanye maneuver. Flip the script. Make himself the center ring. If that sounds familiar, cast your mind back to the recent Grammys. Ye and wife Bianca Censori rocked the carpet, with Censori wearing a nearly see-through gown that set every gossip page alight. West crowed on Instagram later that night that she'd become the most Googled person at the show. True. False. Who cares? In social media land, chatter is currency, and Ye's been minting it for years. Of course, the chatter hasn't always been kind. Ye's penchant for inflammatory remarks has reached uncomfortable peaks, particularly targeting the Jewish community. In a now-deleted post, he declared, "Elon, they kicked me off Instagram. So glad you bought X," attaching a screenshot that, as Community Notes politely pointed out, merely showed him logged out. Days earlier, he had tweeted lines so extreme, "I'm a very bad ideology, and I love infamous historical figure," that the American Jewish Committee publicly urged entertainment leaders to distance themselves. Yet each outburst has clocked millions of impressions, and even Elon Musk couldn't resist reposting a meme that poked fun at the chaos. Observers online say that's precisely why Ye surfaced at Diddy's trial. The man understands the outrage economy. One pop culture site phrased it this way: in addition to all the other things he's proven himself to be, Kanye West has retained his credentials as one of pop culture's great attention-seeking missiles. Why release a press statement when 30 minutes in a federal overflow room will dominate trending tabs? Not everyone is convinced the stunt helped. Social media users have highlighted that West's recent controversies could actually backfire on Combs. One post making the rounds sighed. His controversial statements regarding the Jewish community make his presence in court baffling and counterproductive to a strong defense. Why would anyone want him to testify on their behalf? In other words, aligning with Ye circa 2025 is a risky brand decision, friend or not. Here's the bigger pattern. West's music alone no longer keeps him at the top of talk shows. Critics noted that his album Donda drew curiosity streams rather than genuine acclaim, while new projects rely on splashy antics to drum up plays. As one outlet quipped, "No one in the year 2025 is paying attention to Kanye West because of his music. Everything he says and does is intended to shock because he knows controversy has become his calling card. It's a feedback loop. Spark an uproar. Ride the clicks. Tease a project. Repeat." Which brings us back to that courthouse cameo. Was it loyalty? Maybe. but plenty of seasoned watchers see savvy PR fingerprints all over it. Ye saunters in, flips the narrative away from grim testimony toward his wardrobe, then exits before doer details resume. Meanwhile, social feeds churn out clips and hot takes, and Kanye court watch trends all afternoon. Whether the gambit actually benefits either star is anyone's guess. Combs still faces a mountain of legal challenges that Ye's brief shout-out can't erase. West, meanwhile, pockets yet another viral moment to keep his name, and whatever fashion collab or album he's brewing, front and center. As one seasoned tweeter summarized, "Outrage sells, and Kanye's got the best merch table." Did the courthouse stunt change the trial's outcome? Probably not. Did it distract, divide, and dominate social timelines? Absolutely. And as long as the internet rewards noise, you can bet Ye will keep finding new rooms, overflow or otherwise, to crash. Because in the modern rumor mill, a well-timed entrance and a single syllable, yes, are more than enough to steal the show, spin the headlines, and remind everyone that outrage, in 2025, remains the hottest ticket in town. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's your favorite part about this topic? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, check out the 2 videos on screen to keep watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content in the future.